Next on the Pro Wrestling Report, Impact Wrestling on Spike TV wins the week again. We fantasy book tomorrow's Night of Champions pay-per-view, and we have a major announcement on a free event coming to St. Louis for the Survivor Series. We've also got free tickets for Tuesday's WWE SmackDown right here in Milwaukee. All that and so much more right here, right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee for September 20th, 2014. We're back! Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius, the alleged hero. How are you?
I'm happy to be back.
Why are you pounding the table? Trying to make some kind of point?
I am.
Trying to show your heft, show your strength?
I'm a man.
Well, that's debatable from what I understand.
Please.
You didn't see those tweets?
The competition
those Instagram
continues.
Posts?
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be, and let's get right down to it.
I heard you're a bicep kind of guy.
Let's get right down to it for this week's WWE report. And wow, Raw was halftime last Monday night. The show was built around Paul Heyman producing Brock Lesnar for John Cena at what he referred to as halftime. And this was all done in an obvious effort to combat the competition from Monday Night Football. I felt the opening was good. I felt the build to this halftime was good. However, it seemed very, very obvious what they were doing, but I didn't have a problem with that because it led us to the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and some entertaining segments with Paul Heyman, the Great Khali, and John Cena.
I'm bothered by it, though.
Why is this?
Why should the WWE, the billion-dollar wrestling company, the biggest wrestling company in the world,
just ask him,
be that worried about Monday Night Football? They never cared before. Now all of a sudden it's a concern?
Well, the ratings, while they've been good, have not been so good as of late, and the show product has not been so good as of late.
That's the problem. It's the product. It's not the competition.
They knew the risk was there.
I don't like it. Be the beast. Be the machine. Be the star makers that they are. Don't book your show, your 3-hour show around a football game on an opposite channel.
We saw the ratings. It worked to a degree for WWE, but not probably as much as they would have hoped, especially since the ending of the show was very curious as a result of their focus on halftime competition. The finish of Raw Monday night, for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch it, was the rallying of America by Mark Henry. He and Rusev ended the show, and that's what we were left with to decide whether or not to purchase tomorrow's pay-per-view event.
No, you're left with Lana. I mean, come on.
Oh, Lana, won't you marry me now?
You know, so, but, you know, the WWE is now no longer booking for themselves. They're booking for Monday Night Football. And that's the problem you're going to have. I hope it changes. I hope it stops.
But was there a huge risk? And again, I am one who is a fan of the Rusev-Henry feud. I think Mark Henry is a beast who can be a monster who could eventually be one of those people taking on the beast, Brock Lesnar. But, geez, that was a... Raw usually ends
What I
real strong.
don't like about it is you had Reigns and
Rollins
in a match that you're going to have on pay-per-view with a clean, decisive ending. Right before you go into Rusev and Mark Henry. Doesn't make any sense at all to me.
It was a weird Raw this past Monday night. I think their focus could have been in the wrong places, which is, as you said, just worrying about the competition that was Monday Night Football. But here's the competition they need to worry about. Not the competition that comes on a random Monday night during football season, but the competition of the overall audience, dissatisfaction with the product. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, actually, in the next segment.
What you're missing out, though, is they're no longer trying to sell a pay-per-view for $50.
Not at all.
They're trying to sell a network.
But that's $9.99.
$9.99.
But the pay-per-view is $50 on the network?
No, it's if you were to order it on cable.
But can you get the network on cable for $9.99?
No, you cannot.
So you have to get the pay-per-view to get the network. You have to get the network to get the pay-per-view. You have to have cable to get the pay-per-view.
You are going to confuse the masses out there. You just have to get the network and pay $9.99 a month. That's it. And you get the pay-per-view, every month, for $9.99. So the urgency is not to sell
Who's writing this for you? Michael Cole?
For $50.
JBL? Jerry Lawler?
Jerry Lawler writes my stuff.
He doesn't write his own stuff.
He writes mine. I write his, he writes mine.
Which is why both of you show up with a blank piece of paper every week.
That's our thoughts.
We're going to go to Linda Kay now, ladies and gentlemen, with this week's Blizzard Brawl 10 talent announcement.
Blizzard Brawl 10 comes to the Waukesha County Expo Center on Saturday, December 6th for a hot night of action. Over the last few weeks, we've announced that Ricardo Rodriguez and Brodus Clay will be at the annual GLCW event. And now we are pleased to announce that former WCW and WWE star Hurricane Helms has also been signed for the event. We'll announce more names each week here on Primetime, and you can order your Blizzard Brawl tickets right now at blizzardbrawl.com. Blizzard Brawl 10, Saturday, December 6th at the Waukesha County Expo Center.
Thank you, Linda. Blizzard Brawl 10 coming December 6th. Waukesha County Expo Center, going to be a huge event. But more, firstly, about WWE this past week. And last week, actually, it was NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way on the WWE Network. Now, this was a great event. An event that was better than Raw has been for the past few weeks. Now, we saw new tag team champions crowned in the Lucha Dragons, which includes Sin Cara. They defeated the ever-so-popular Ascension after the Dragons won a tournament to get that opportunity for the tag team championships. Great matchup. Surprised by the win there. Also surprised by how dominant Baron Corbin was as he destroyed CJ Parker. Adrian Neville retains the NXT championship and a fatal 4-way, and Kenta, who a lot of you have been talking about, makes his debut, and he announces that his new name is Hideo Itami. Not Konami.
Atari?
No, Nintendo. He announced it, and the fans actually cheered, so a lot of people were concerned about the fact that they were going to market him, change his name for marketing purposes, if you will. And they did so, but he did announce it, and that, I think, made the fans more accepting of it.
That's all
Big
about.
show on NXT. Now, you got to wonder if this show was that much better only because of whether it was the fresh faces or the fact that it was only 2 hours long. And I think that was the real answer.
Well, but also these kids that go out there and they try to steal the show because they know this is their commercial, this is their opportunity to impress the powers that be to show that they are television ready.
The performance was good. It was a fast-paced show, but I think the issue, at least I know the issue I'm raising is that was a 2-hour show. It was satisfying. It was fulfilling. It was worthwhile. Yet Raw every week at 3 hours has become brutal, and it is overall diminishing the product.
Brutal. That's a big, powerful word
Brutal
for
in
you.
its length. Brutal in its length. Now, I sent out a tweet on Monday Night David Hero on Twitter, the social media site.
I've heard of it.
And indicated that, or at least I said that, since Raw's gone to 3 hours, there's only been 2 episodes that have left me wanting more. Raw 1000 and the old school Raw.
Well, we were at Raw 1000.
We were there.
And you wanted a lot more when we left. You were looking for Cody all over the streets of St. Louis.
Well, because Cody was erroneously left off the show.
Yes.
Now he's going to win Tag Team Championship tomorrow night and become Tag Team
he very
Champions
well
again.
could, yes.
But anyways, 3 hours, not the content, folks. But it's just so long. It's hard to keep my attention span for 3 hours every single week. And by the way, like even when I go see picture films in the movie house.
Picture films?
Yeah, in the movie house.
Okay.
If it's longer than 2 hours, I'm not seeing it. Unless it's Captain America of some sort.
I don't see that.
That was a good movie. A lot of people saw it. The Winter
It
Soldier.
was a good movie, yes. Mm-hmm. I hear Captain America's getting a makeover. Me, the Falcon.
Clearly, you're not going to address the issue at hand on this professional wrestling show that we're talking about, so I will leave it at this.
What was the issue
Raw,
at hand?
3 hours too long. It has become brutal in its length. An NXT Takeover this past Thursday on the WWE Network. Quite frankly, worth the price of admission for the network alone.
How much is that?
It is $9.99 a month.
So I was wondering.
And that is this week's WWE Report, ladies and gentlemen. Still so much more to come, including this week's TNA Report. Impact, again, the superior show over Raw this past week. The Event Center, DWHS, Hot News, Diamond of the Ring, and Be the Booker for tomorrow's Night of Champions on pay-per-view. We'll be right back after this short timeout.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR show and be part of the conversation.
When you're diamond shopping, variety is important. At Robert Hack Diamonds, we'll show you multiple diamonds side by side underneath the microscope and show you what to look for when buying a diamond. GIA graduate gemologists are on staff for expert diamond grading. Robert Hack has affordable prices on all diamonds, including diamonds certified by the GIA. Need a mounting for your diamond? Our selection is huge. Buy your diamonds today at Robert Hack Diamonds or visit roberthackdiamonds.com.
Diamonds are a good best friend.
Carry on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside that guy,
this guy,
David Hero. And let's go to this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report. And firstly, for those of you who visited us online at PWRshow.com, you saw my one-on-one interview with Vince Russo. Vince Russo, a man who formerly was one of the writers and part of the creative team in TNA Wrestling, WWE, and even WCW. A controversial figure to say the least. And if you have not yet gotten a chance to take a look at that, go on over to PWRshow.com and take a look, because David Schwartz, who is one of the executives with Spike TV, actually responded to some of Russo's comments in my one-on-one interview with him, where Russo said as long as TNA was with Spike TV, they would not grow, and that TNA Spike TV was a horrible partner for TNA Wrestling. So here's what he said, and I quote, "We took TNA from a late night spot on Saturday nights doing 500,000 viewers to a 2-hour time slot that did 2 million viewers over time. Spike went out of its way, not in just adhering to its contract, but above and beyond the contract." Now, within this next piece comes some hot news, folks. And this is Spike TV's representative, David Schwann, saying this. "We paid Hulk Hogan. We paid Eric Bischoff with our money. We financed many shows. We financed UK shows. We helped promote. We gave TNA a primetime slot on Thursdays from 9 to 11 p.m. I think his comments are way off base. Clearly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's somebody who thinks more of himself than really exists. Vince Russo never meant anything to Spike TV. He had nothing to do with negotiations. Nobody cares about Vince Russo at Spike TV. Nobody cares or knows who he is. We have a great relationship with TNA. We went above and beyond for them as they did for us." Past tense, by the way. "Dixie helped promote our shows. What Vince Russo is saying is complete nonsense." Seems like he was
a little heated
by those comments by Vince Russo.
Look what you started.
I didn't start anything.
I'm
a broadcast journalist.
You did the interview.
I sat down here, did a respectful one-on-one interview with Vince Russo and asked him the questions that the world wanted asked. And this is a response from Spike TV. So 2 key things in that. Spike TV confirming that they had paid a lot of the talents and had financed a lot of the business dealings of TNA Impact Wrestling. Also, referencing the show Impact Wrestling in past tense.
If you're Hulk Hogan and you're Ric Flair and you're Eric Bischoff, wouldn't you rather get a check from Spike TV?
Why, David?
Well, it's probably going to be on time. Right? Oh, don't smirk. Come on. You know that's the truth.
I've heard rumors.
It's not rumors.
Some people didn't get checks.
Yes.
Past tense, he refers to Impact Wrestling on Spike TV.
Because he has to right now, because there's no deal in place.
There's a deal through the end of the year.
That's it. You know they taped 9 weeks of TV this past week?
Through yesterday, yes.
Yes. That's amazing.
And Bound for Glory is October 12th, and they've taped beyond that. And Bound for Glory apparently doing very well over in Japan with ticket sales.
Yeah, that should be interesting. How do you tape to the end of the year and have your WrestleMania type pay-per-view in between that?
Speaking of pay-per-views, formerly known as pay-per-view was No Surrender, which was this past Wednesday's Impact special. Again, I feel this was the best episodic wrestling show this week.
You like that stuff.
Not just because Rockstar Spud got a win over Crazy Steve.
You love the Rockstar, don't you?
He's endorsed.
He is endorsed. He'll be on his way here too shortly.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Spoiler,
well,
if you will.
It is.
In a build-up that has been weeks in the making, it was finally for the TNA Tag Team Championship, the Wolves, Team 3D, and the Hardy Boys in a ladder match. Now, the winners of this matchup and still the TNA Tag Team Champions are the Wolves. It's the way it should have gone.
Yeah, but now with the broken leg, going to be interesting.
No, by the time... Was he at the tapings earlier this week, Davey Richards?
He was.
Homicide was.
He was. But they didn't do much.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. Great matchup, great episode of Impact this past Wednesday night on Spike TV. And that's it for this week's TNA Report, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now go to Linda Kay to find out what is going on in the world of professional wrestling with this week's Event Center.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Monday night on PWR Radio Live on Blog Talk Radio, we announced that Shenanigans are coming to St. Louis for the Survivor Series on November 23rd. This is a free admission event and will be held at the world-famous Hard Rock Cafe right next door to the Scottrade Center, which will host the WWE Survivor Series that evening. Kevin Nash and Thea Rosita Trinidad will be appearing for a meet and greet in St. Louis, and you can RSVP for your free tickets right now at PWRshow.com. Milwaukee's first Comic-Con Fantasticon will take place October 24th through the 26th at the Ramada Milwaukee Airport, featuring stars from CW18's Arrow, along with Mean Gene Okerlund, Al Snow, and Thea Rosita Trinidad. Get information on both events right now at blizzardbrawl.com. In addition to St. Louis, PWR is pleased to bring shenanigans back to WrestleMania, and we guarantee that this will be the biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend. Big Sexy Kevin Nash is again hosting the Shenanigans Party in San Jose, and already signed for the event are several divas and knockouts, including former TNA knockout Rosita and former WWE diva Melina. PWR has also signed DJ Zima to be the official DJ for the Shenanigans Club Party. All attendees will get free food and free drinks all night long at the party, along with the red carpet meet and greet. Tickets for the Shenanigans Club Party are available right now at PWRshow.com, and if you order now, you get a special early bird pricing savings of $15 off your ticket. Don't wait, buy now and be a part of the biggest party of WrestleMania weekend in San Jose, the Shenanigans Club Party with PWR.
WWE's pay-per-view Night of Champions is tomorrow night, and I'm wondering why I would want to watch it. Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown have already given me more than I care to see. The matches have all been done and done again. Nothing unique. We've seen Reigns and Rollins, Henry and Rusev, Ziggler and Miz, the Rhodeses and the Usos, and all points in between. Why do I want to watch this all over again? Simple. Brock Lesnar and John Cena, the two biggest stars in the company, collide one more time. Not saying it's worth $50 because it's not, but I will watch it on the network for $9.99. WWE needs to make the network a value, not a base price. Make the pay-per-views special and not repeat matches. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Welcome to PWR Hot News, bringing you the biggest wrestling news stories of the week. WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair was hospitalized last weekend and missed several advertised appearances on NXT and SmackDown. WWE released a statement on Flair's condition earlier in the week that read, WWE legend Ric Flair is recovering from successful surgery and will miss tomorrow's scheduled guest referee appearance at SmackDown, WWE stated Monday afternoon on their website. In addition, Ric is doing well, and we look forward to him returning to WWE in the near future. And that's it for this week's Hot News.
Thank you, Linda. This week's Diamond of the Ring is Stardust. He is charismatic, professional,
Don't forget endorsed.
and endorsed.
Cal, it's so great to have you here on set this week. Where's your father? Where's David Hero?
I don't know.
I don't really care.
Yeah, well.
It's good to have you. Hey, you want to come down every week and be a part of the broadcast here? I've been looking for a replacement. Kevin Kelly didn't work out.
Yeah.
So we can, you're growing up, getting tall. Nice jacket there you got there, too. So Stardust is this week's Robert Heck Diamond of the Ring.
Exactly.
Is he going to win tomorrow night against the Usos, he and Goldust?
Absolutely.
And new tag team champions. Some music to my ears. Robert Heck's Diamond of the Ring. Thank you, Cal, for coming down. Who do you trust when buying diamonds? Well, I trust two people, Robert Heck and Cal Hero.
Night of Champions, be the booker. Of course, there's no Nelson. There you are.
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Hey. Just so you know, the Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring.
Oh, it's a great segment.
It's kind of
New
my
co-host?
deal. It's kind of my deal. I don't understand why you would replace it with Cal.
I'm giving Cal his spotlight that he deserves. I'm grooming him to be the next star of the Pro Wrestling Report. You've got to think about the future. You've got to build 5 years out, Dave. And, I mean, 5 years from now, come on, let's be honest.
I'll be gone in 5 years?
Well, I mean, your contract only is for 4 more years.
Oh, okay.
And it ain't being renewed.
Oh, I know what you're
There's no chance.
I know what you're trying to do.
What's that?
We got to get that quota. So, I get it. He'd be a great fit.
Let's be the booker, ladies and gentlemen. In this segment, we look at the pay-per-view that is coming up tomorrow night and talk about.
It's a fantasy booking, right? Is how I would do it.
It is how you, if you had the pencil. Well, it's a prediction when you get it right. It's a fantasy booking when you get it wrong. History shows.
It's how I want to see it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then let's talk about it. Match by match, ladies and gentlemen. The first matchup at Night of Champions tomorrow night from Memphis, Nashville, somewhere south. Chris Jericho versus Randall Orton.
Well, this is an easy one for me to book because Randy Orton is the guy that is next in line for Brock Lesnar. He's gonna want. He's gonna want a title shot. And you know, Chris Jericho, he had a few bumps in the road the last couple weeks.
Well, lest we not forget, Chris Jericho has stated publicly this Night of Champions, his last event during this run in WWE.
Then that makes it even easier for me to book this match. I expect a couple diamond cutters, and Randy Orton defeats Y2J.
All right. Sheamus will take on Cesaro, this match for the United States Championship.
Another tough spot right here. The fans are dying for Cesaro to become the new champion. They're screaming for it. That's their guy. But Sheamus, you need him to be strong going into a possible match with Brock Lesnar.
Because he's also on the list.
He's on the list. He is on the short list. He's on, you know. So you got to figure Sheamus could be a good pick. But at the same time, you can only put Cesaro in the back seat.
Tell him I do.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I need Cesaro to win. I need for him to become the new United States champion. Sheamus can still go on and feud with Brock Lesnar.
Let's not forget, Cesaro pinned Sheamus on Raw this past Monday night.
He did, but Cesaro needs it right now. Ever since he won the Battle Royal, he hasn't done a whole lot.
I'm sorry, Sheamus pinned Cesaro. I was wrong.
Don't get hot. Pump the brakes.
So you're saying brand new United States champion.
Absolutely.
All right, Rusev versus Mark Henry. The big segment that ended Raw this past Monday night. Now it comes to fruition at Night of Champions.
And Rusev is a beast. He is on his way. I do not see anybody stopping Rusev right now.
You've been saying that. You've been beating that drum for a while.
And have I been wrong?
Yeah.
What match has he lost?
He has not lost, but he's not pinned a lot of people as well. Yeah, he beat Jack Swagger at SummerSlam via countout.
Okay, but then he made him submit after that.
Yes.
So let's keep it going. Rusev, of course, is on Team Super Friends. He's my big point getter, by the way.
Well, you know what that is.
It means I'm winning 1385 to 1260.
Career killer.
Huh?
Career killer.
Career killer?
That's what you are.
No, I'm not.
When they're on your team.
That's Linda Kay.
I'm sorry?
Exactly. We got an IC title match next.
The endorsed Battle of the Titans, ladies and gentlemen. The Intercontinental Championship on the line when Dolph Ziggler defends against The Miz. We know that Damian Sandmiz will be in The Miz. You see the irony of all that?
Do you think our Ziggler's going to be there too?
That's the question. Will our Ziggler be in the corner?
What blasphemy is this? It really is ridiculous.
Why?
They're having these stunt doubles in pro wrestling matches. Who do you
Sorry
like?
for them being new and creative.
Who do you like?
Who do I like? Well, they're both endorsed, The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, so I'm not officially able to render
There's no way The Miz is going to beat Dolph Ziggler.
Really? Former World Heavyweight Champion, former WWE champion.
If you look at The Miz right now, and I'm watching him on Raw Monday night, it's like he fell out of the dryer. He looks like a regular guy.
What was he doing in the dryer?
He fell out. He shrunk. Dolph Ziggler is the guy right now.
Because he's twice as big as The Miz?
He looks 10 times better. Cosmetically, absolutely. Don't get hot. It's fine.
Dolph Ziggler retains the Intercontinental Championship.
Train for a long time.
Still riding it. I'm riding the Ziggler train too. Notice how these endorsed stars have ended up in top places on the card in WWE.
Well, there are 8 matches.
There is so much more to discuss, ladies and gentlemen, for Be the Booker, including Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, Tag Team Championship matchup, Divas Championship matchup, and then the rematch, the big main event, Brock Lesnar, John Cena. We'll get to all that when we come back after this timeout, and information on how you can win SmackDown tickets Tuesday night, August 30th at the Bradley Center after the break.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to stop me from getting what was fair. I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They green-lighted my case and got me $100,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
PWR has tickets for Tuesday's WWE SmackDown at the BMO Harris Bradley Center, and you can win them now. Simply send us an email to contest@pwrshow.com with the name of the talent announced this week for Blizzard Brawl 10, and you are entered. Be sure to include your Twitter handle in the email, as we will be announcing the winners tomorrow on Twitter. Good luck, and we hope to see you at WWE SmackDown on Tuesday. And now, here's the conclusion of Be the Booker for Sunday's Night of Champions.
That's Tuesday, September 30th, WWE SmackDown back at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Got a few things we've got to work on for that big event coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget your DWHS sign.
Yeah, it's sitting right next to my lighter.
You smoke?
No, not at all. But I keep a lighter to burn things such as your DWHS sign because it's completely ridiculous.
So you're a propaganda guy?
No, I've never burned a flag.
Okay. Can we start here? I mean,
we have started. We'll finish. Be the Booker, ladies and gentlemen. Next matchup to talk about is Roman Reigns, who's also endorsed, by the way, versus Seth Rollins. Now, let's forget the fact, I guess, that we saw this matchup with a clean finish this past Monday night on Raw and talk about what we're going to see tomorrow night for $9.99 or $54.99, depending on how you look at it.
Both guys need to win. You need to keep Roman Reigns going strong. Seth Rollins has been stuck in neutral, but still going forward in a very weird kabuki-ish kind of way.
He's Mr. Money in the Bank.
Dean Ambrose might return. You never know. That wouldn't surprise me.
There's the wrinkle.
I could see the, that could be it right there. But
Get a roofie.
You know what? I don't. This match is going to have no decision.
No decision.
Yeah.
It goes on.
Yes.
Even with or due to Ambrose.
I just think a whole lot of. Put it this way: Seth Rollins can't afford another clean loss. Roman Reigns can't lose
Mr.
to
Money
Seth
in the
Rollins.
Bank. It's a conundrum.
It is a conundrum.
It's a dilemma.
Why'd you put the Superman shield on here?
Well, the Shield.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah. No, the Shield.
Yes.
Tag Team Championships on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Cal Heroes, Diamond of the Ring, Goldust,
And Stardust. Not pleased about that.
take on the Usos.
The Usos. You gotta believe Goldust and Stardust have done such a
Are gonna win.
tremendous
I
job.
gotta agree with you, David Hero. Brand new tag team champions.
They will become the new tag team
tomorrow
champions.
night. Yes.
Just means I lose points here because the Usos are on TV for friends.
Now let's not forget though, Goldust, Stardust, Cody Rhodes, and Goldust had a great run as tag team champions.
And they'll have a better run right now because now they can sell more merchandise with the masks and the T-shirts and everything else.
Because that matters, doesn't it?
And it's close to Halloween. You can paint your face.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Divas Championship will be on the line as Paige defends against Nikki Bella and AJ Lee.
Only one thing can happen here.
What's that?
Nikki.
Really?
She needs the win. She's been whining. She's been complaining. Now, unless, of course, Brie comes down and costs her the match, then I'll go with Paige. But I think Nikki needs to become the Divas champion to keep everything going and making sense.
Do we want to keep that going?
Well, let's not
Brie
forget.
didn't get much of a reaction this past Monday night on Raw. Paige.
But Nikki will. Right now, they're not booing
Because
Paige.
Nikki can get heat.
She can
and
get a
Brie
ton
is
of
not
heat.
necessarily going to be loved.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, folks, it is a rematch from SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, the champion, takes on John Cena, the challenger. This, as I said, the big rematch from SummerSlam. SummerSlam, where John Cena got his tail handed to him in offering just about no offense in a matchup that saw Brock Lesnar dominate and become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. What will happen tomorrow night at Night of Champions, David Hero?
If I'm booking this match, you can have the same kind of fight, maybe a little bit more balanced, maybe give Cena a little more offense. But I make John Cena tap.
Tap!
I have Brock.
Definitive win.
I have Brock Lesnar retain the WWE World Championship.
Is there any chance that the people who are booking this will book it so that John Cena walks out of Night of Champions, the WWE champion?
Whoever does that should be fired on Monday.
There you have it, folks. Be the Booker, Night of Champions, tomorrow night on pay-per-view. Follow along at PWR Show on Twitter, Facebook.com/PWR Show as well. Whew. And for that one, this is Damian Nelson saying we'll see you next Saturday night right here on My 24 Milwaukee for PWR Primetime.